Hello, and welcome to a Skyping lesson at Ridge High School. My name is Gina Tenga, and I'm an assistant principal here at Ridge. The lesson you will hear about involves two of our Spanish teachers, Mrs. Diane Riley and Ms. Kara Seaton. Ms. Seaton, shown on the projector screen, is teaching abroad in Spain this year. So the three of us worked together to allow Mrs. Riley's intermediate Spanish second-year students to Skype with Ms. Seaton. As an administrator, my objective was to highlight our wonderful Spanish department and to utilize technology to create a more dynamic, interactive, and student-centered learning environment. Mrs. Riley developed the following three curriculum objectives, which were clearly outlined in her lesson plan. They included enabling students to communicate in the target language in an authentic situation, integrating technology to obtain more information about Spain, and allowing students to express their opinions. Mrs. Riley planned several activities leading up to the Skype conversation. Some included researching Spain and developing appropriate and relevant questions to ask. During the Skype activity, students were given the task of recording 10 facts from the conversation in the target language. This is a picture of Mrs. Riley at the Skype podium talking with Mrs. Seaton. And here is a student from her second period class asking Mrs. Seaton about Spain. Each student came to the podium to greet Ms. Seaton and ask their predetermined question. In each of Mrs. Riley's three classes, students had the experience of asking a question in the target language and hearing Ms. Seaton's response. Here is another picture of a proud Ridge High School senior. The topics discussed were based solely on student interests. They asked questions pertaining to daily life, school comparisons, food and restaurants, and even dating. And this is a picture from outside Ms. Seaton's home in Spain. She was able to turn her computer and display this breathtaking image live. After the lesson, Mrs. Riley told me that her students were stopping her in the halls saying, now they want to study abroad, and wow, that was so cool. And Mrs. Seaton also enjoyed the experience, explaining how nice it was to see her former students, to see some familiar faces, and I quote, I was bummed signing off today. Overall, the lesson was extremely successful because the students were excited to come to class, they were engaged throughout the lesson, and the learning was relevant to them. You can see the excitement on their faces. Their interaction with Mrs. Riley during the lesson, and here they are on task writing their 10 facts. It was a wonderful experience for all of us. Thank you.